Greetings everyone, this is Connor from DagoraTV, and this video is going to be me talking about all the rumours and my personal predictions for the Microsoft E3 press conference on the 13th of June 2016 at 9:30 AM Pacific Standard Time and 5:30 PM UK time. Okay, so Microsoft and Sony have really got the two biggest shows of the conference. Like, let's be honest, these are the first-party studios they've got going on. They're the big honcho heads in the the gaming community when it comes to the console market, obviously, and everything that people are going to be talking about is really directed mainly to these two studios. When we talk about who won E3, yada yada yada, and all them bullshit talks that we all have amongst our friends. So I just want to be talking about quite a few of the rumors because there's going to be probably a lot that's going to be revealed at E3 that we can expect, and there's probably going to be one or two surprises that is going to be coming out as well. So let's start out with, the actual console, and there's been rumours of two new Xbox consoles being revealed at E3 2016, and one of them is the Xbox Scorpio, which is a fantastic name, and this is a rumour that, this basically, similar to the PlayStation 4.5 or the PlayStation Neo, that it's going to be, have an increased GPU, increased settings, basically. We don't know how much increase they're going to be, or even if it's really just a rumour at this point, but we don't know how much of an increase is going to be compared to the Xbox One, to make games, better than them and make the hardware less dated compared to the PC, which is a very good change for a lot of people, especially people who are anticipating buying an Xbox, One, or anticipating buying a console. They can just wait until when these come out. The rumor is that it's going to be September, October this year for the PlayStation Neo, and for the Xbox Scorpio, there's not really a date that people have been talking about yet. I've seen some people say next year, but we don't know. This is something that's probably going to be revealed at E3, and a lot of information about it would be great to see. Be able to see games in comparison to the Xbox One to Xbox Scorpio, and seeing the future of the Xbox hardware in this console generation that's going to be really cool to see things like that and see what their response is to basically the Neo, because there's been a lot of talk about Phil Spencer saying they want to make their consoles upgradable, and then he's also said that he doesn't want to make an Xbox 1.5, but then this rumours have popped up, so we don't know what's true and what isn't, but it's going to be interesting to see. The second Xbox console that has been rumoured is to have an Xbox Slim, which is basically, the Xbox 360S that they had back in the day, or the PS2 Slim that they've had, that Sony have had, and basically, it's just a slim version of the Xbox One, which is, for me, someone that travels his Xbox to and from locations quite frequently, this would be a very interesting purchase and something that I'd be interested in getting, because, it's so easy to maneuver and easy to handle. Because the Xbox One is basically just a massive brick at this point. It's hard to, to find a bag to fit it in and take it from place to place. But if you're not really moving around, I don't see why you'd want to buy it. But, it's definitely, the PlayStation 2 Slim sold very well. So this could definitely be something that, sells good. It's definitely something that will sell. So it'll be interesting to see how Xbox would basically, announce this and kind of showcase it off, especially if they're doing Scorpio at the same time. Would it kind of take a bit of a back burner? Would people be interested in this if Scorpio is happening? But it's going to be interesting to see. And also another thing that we would probably get that we will get is new prices, new bundles, yada yada yada, of if there's going to be new consoles, of the new consoles and of the existing ones as well, new bundles and everything that's coming out at the end of the year and all that kind of stuff, and the new price point, and see how it's going to compare to the PlayStation 4 and things like that. And that's going to be interesting to see. Another thing that we could possibly get when in the future of Xbox hardware is maybe a VR announcement. Is something that's going to be floating around the web, after how well Oculus and Vive have sold, and how well everyone is kind of thinking that PlayStation VR is going to sell. Why can't Xbox have their own? And maybe this is the reason that it could go hand in hand with the Xbox Scorpio. And it's going to be, kind of cool to see if they, can get a VR on there and, be able to have an Xbox VR, another addition to the VR market that's going to make really VR kind of come into the mainstream probably in a couple of years' time for everyone, because there's going to be so much competition out there, which is going to be great for a consumer, to be able to pick from. And, it'd be good to them to showcase what it has, some games on it and all that kind of good stuff. All that is going to be very interesting to have, and very interesting to to see what it's going to be like, if it is going to be there. As we've seen PlayStation VR, we've seen Oculus, we've seen HTC Vive. Now it can have its own thing, which would be very cool. Okay, so let's get into the games, and this is really what kind of I'm more interested in. It's going to be cool to hear about Scorpio if that is true, but when it comes to the games, this is what where I stand. So I think the Xbox One is the dark horse of all the conferences, of something that could come out and surprise us game-wise, surprise us a lot. But all in all, of the games that we can kind of expect to see, we can expect to see Scale Down. Scale Down is definitely going to be shown, as an Xbox exclusive. It's going to be interesting to see how different it is than what we've last seen of Scalebound, because it was very interesting last time, but I don't know how it's going to be shown in this instance, but it would be cool to have a look at. We'll probably see more Crackdown 3, as we only saw a little bit of Crackdown 3 last year at E3, and we didn't send people talking about it. People wasn't really discussing it. It looked kind of average. It looked kind of a little bit... It was colourful, but it looked a little bit bland to me, and was something that I wasn't very interested. So we'll definitely have to have a look at that and see how how it's kind of come on, because really there's not a huge amount of buzz for Crackdown 3. Crackdown 1 was very well received. Crackdown 2 not so much. So it's going to be interesting to see how Crackdown 3 does, and we may even get a possible release date for Crackdown 3. Sea of Thieves is something that we're going to see. I mean, we don't know really anything about Sea of Thieves. It's some kind of MMO piratey adventure. Is it an MMO? I'm not fully sure if it is or not, because we haven't really had a whole bunch of information about Sea of Thieves. It looks interesting, especially after a lot of people are really hyped about after Black Flag for more pirate games. Sea of Thieves is definitely down the alleyway of that, and it's it's been developed by Rare, so hopefully the Rare guys will come out, showcase the game a bit more, have a 5-10 minutes of just a play session or something, and hopefully get release date or something like that. That'll be very cool. We'll also have games like Forza in that coming on, maybe get some mainly third-party games, coming on to announce little exclusives that they've got here and there, or little bits of news because they've tied into the Xbox One, like FIFA and things like that will come out. Halo Wars 2, that could be something that is shown. That could be something that will get, quite a few people in the Halo community excited about. And there's also always been, news around the Halo franchise when it comes to the Xbox E3. So it'd be cool to see if we can get a Halo Wars 2. A lot of people will be hyped. It's something that's not interested in me because I'm not really interested in Halo. But all in all, people will be kind of interested in that. We may get, maybe a little addition, maybe a little expansion to Quantum Break. That will be kind of interesting, something different, something on the side of it. That'll be cool, something on addition, and maybe, a few new IPs will be great to have. This is really why I'm saying this one could be the surprise one, because when it comes to games, I'm not seeing anything here that's knocking me out the park. It's not knocking me over the road. It's not something that I'm dying to see, and it's kind of a bit worrying, to be honest with you, because when it comes to the Xbox consoles, they're going to have some surprises in the belt, to get us all excited, because last year, I think everyone was on the fence of console news, Microsoft won. They had the backwards compatibility, but on the games front, if you're only interested in playing games, then by all means, PlayStation will by a million miles, and we don't really want that to be the case again. Hopefully something will happen with Microsoft to announce some really cool games and some interesting titles. We'll also probably see Forza. Forza will be another thing that's shown after Forza Horizon 2. A lot of people played that, and a lot of people really liked it, of those who played it. And all the new indie games and everything, of the indie corner at Microsoft, which has always been cool to see. And hopefully we get a release date for Cuphead, because I played Cuphead, I liked it, I played it at EGX, and I want it to come out. I want it to come out already. So yeah, I want to see what that release date is, hopefully see some more stuff on it, things like that. Remind us that it's all happening, because it seems that people kind of come to forget about it a little bit, I think is the right way to say. But it looks very good, looks very interesting, and we'll see how it is. So that's it for this video, and if you leave your comments below on what you think about the possibility of a surprise at the Microsoft press conference. What would you like that to be? What would you like that announcement to be? Something to knock it out the park. Also, how do you think about how it's shaping up if it's just going to be like this? Hopefully there is going to be some surprises. But how do you feel if it is like this? Is there enough there to kind of keep you interested? Are you interested in things like Sea of Thieves and Scalebound and things like that? But all in all, make sure you check out all the other videos that I've got on the channel regarding E3, predictions and rumours and things like that. I think the one on Bethesda and EA are out at this moment in time, and the other two that I've got to make so far is Ubisoft and PlayStation. So they'll be coming out probably tomorrow. So be sure to, to check out all the E3 stuff that I've got going on, and coming up in the next week, because there's going to be a lot of videos. It's probably going to be, 1 or 2 a day for this next week. There's going to be a lot of E3 stuff. Also, follow me on Twitter if you want to see all of the, all of my instant reactions to stuff at the press conferences, which will be, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then take a look at that. That'll be interesting for you all. And also follow me on Twitch. I'm live streaming now, and I'm also on Patreon if you want to support me further. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.